Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of New Orleans. My name is Kristen, and Reverend Durham and I are so happy that you're here with us today. Thank you for coming. Before we begin, there's one quick thing that we need to do, and that's just to double check our phones to make sure that they're either on silent or off in the service. Just take a look. Thank you. All right, and if you would please turn to the front of your hymnal for the Unity Statement of Being and the 5 Unity Principles. There is one presence and one power in this church, in our lives, and in the universe. God, the good, the omnipotent. And the 5 Unity Principles. Number 1, God is absolute good, everywhere present. Number 2, God lives in us, therefore we are inherently good. Number 3, we are co-creators with God and create our experiences through our thoughts. Number 4, prayer is creative thinking that heightens our connection with God-mind. And number 5, it is not enough to simply know these principles. We must live the truth we know. And if everyone would please stand to sing the Lord's Prayer, which is also found on page 2 of your hymnal.
What a beautiful washing over. Yeah. We're going to take some time to go inward even more so. If you have something in your hands or your lap, see if you can set it to the side. Find a posture that feels comfortable. And if you're comfortable with it, close your eyes, closing out the outlet, so that you can go in. I'm going to take 3 deep breaths. And inhale. And release. And inhale. And exhale. And 1 deeper inhale. And release. And just allow your breath to go to its natural rhythm. Become aware that your body is more ease than when you first stepped in this room. And follow the pathway of your in-breath and your out-breath. Perhaps noticing the brightness that is outside the eyelids and sensing that it is the gold vibration that we swim in this moment. The golden hue of God's love radiating from us, among us. Begin to sense that you are inhaling the golden love that surrounds us. Feel it expand through your body, becoming one with the golden light that is within you already. Sense your oneness with the love that is this room, the love energy. Allow it to flow through you. And see what shifts happen if you put a gentle smile on your face. And take a deep breath in. And release. Begin to come back to the awareness of the physical body that holds you. The sensation of your feet on the floor, the chair beneath you. And as you're ready, if your eyes are closed, open them and come back. And see this physical space that is love at all times.
Thank you, Marlena. And now for our guest speaker. Caroline Durham is a creative change maker who interweaves New Thought teachings with more than 25 years of service as a public defender and community organizer. Her spiritual path, which began under Bishop Dr. Barbara Lewis King and integrates Buddhist practices in the lineage of Thich Nhat Hanh, centers on love as a tool for healing and empowerment. As founder of Mindful Justice, Caroline supports community activists and people with lived experience in the criminal legal system through workshops, retreats, and organizational consulting that address compassion fatigue and secondhand trauma. Everyone, please put your hands together to give a warm unity welcome for Reverend Durham.
Good morning. I was thinking about it sitting up here after we did the greetings and the hugs around the room, and I've gotten to say good morning to many of you out in the hallway. And we did it then and just now. That is a hug of love, just to say good morning to you. So good morning again. So the last two times I've been here, I shared a focus on our amplification in our individual divine connection and beingness. In March, we talked about being a cosmic wavelength. In May, we continued to explore our being as alchemists. Today, the lesson is entitled Amplifying the Divine Within Through the Power of Community. What I want to say is we are always in community. We are always in community with God. I am, you are, we are. And so whether we know it, we are always together in community in the divine. But I want to be more intentional about it this morning. We might call it the power of one. Again, each one of us possesses the power of the divine. And the power of the divine works through the interconnectedness that we are. So we are one power in the divine. We. I am, you are, we are. Audre Lorde says, without community, there is no liberation. Truth teachings are liberative. And we've touched many times on the knowing that truth teachings are not selfish. We don't do this for self. We do it for all of God's people, which are all people. And as we engage in manifesting the divine purpose which we are each here for, that purpose, because it is the divine purpose, always benefits and serves others. Always. And so this morning, as we expand out and expand in our vibration as spiritual beings, we're going to go into a deeper awareness of our interconnection that is ever present. We know it from a spiritual standpoint. I want to talk about it from a physical standpoint for just a minute. As vibrational beings spiritually, we all are, period. All things are made up of vibrations: gas, air, matter, ice, water, clouds. The connectedness that is connected to God, God's omnipresence, and to one another is a physical connection as well. One of the great discoveries of physical science is the showing that all things at their source are vibration. I think back to 6th grade science class was probably the first time I saw that sort of microscopic look at a cell. And it's moving. All its parts are moving. It's vibration. Everything here is vibration. And so in that great discovery, we learn, too, the necessity of that awareness. In so many places in the Bible, we are called to the collective. We see the collective, the necessity, the power of the collective. I am, we are. Ubuntu, I am because we are. That's really what I want us to explore today. I am because we are. Cells that break away from the body, shed away from the body, die. Separation. In order for a cell to survive, it needs a constant supply of oxygen and nutrients and waste removal. Ooh, think about the 12 faculties, y'all. That's our oxygen. Those are our nutrients. And one of the faculties is renunciation, waste removal. And so the true teachings feed our vibration. What does it mean to be without oxygen, without nutrients? What if we don't do the waste removal? Have you ever been in those places where you are just carried and carried and carried and haven't let go of what you're meant to let go of? And it's weighing you down. It's a physical weighing down, which pulls our vibration down. That experience of being out of alignment, of feeling dis-ease. We think of generative centers when talking through the spiritual faculties. Each faculty has a place in the body that represents it. A place to generate that power, imagination, love, renunciation, and so on. Community is a generative center. Sit with that for a second. Being in community is being in a power center, a recharging and amplification center. How does it feel when you come into Unity of New Orleans? How does it feel when you gather with friends and loved ones for a meal or a sit by the park? Generative centers. Imagine feeling if you had no community, no place of acceptance, no place to be held or to be fully seen for all that you are. Imagine being afraid to live in the truth of who you are and whose you are. Afraid to stand tall, to feel the strength in your body, that feeling of being without a community or in a safe place. Perhaps you have felt that sometime in your life. I know I have. Perhaps you felt it in the last few days for whatever reason, or you're feeling it right now. I want to pause in that and say you are in a room full of people that are here for you. So if it rises up, if you're feeling it now, just take a moment. You can look around or not, but sense the love that is around you. The pain of othering, the opposite of community. The pain of othering destroys community through separation, those cells that make up the whole being shifted away. John Powell is a lawyer who founded the Center for Belonging. He tells us that when we pretend we're not connected, we're in the process of othering. When we pretend we are not connected, we're in the process of othering. We're in the process of denying not only someone's humanity, but our own humanity, and denying our own connectedness. So Professor Powell defines belonging as an inherent and universal human right to dignity, care, and participation. Simple. It feels simple. And yet, is it always? We let our humanness, our ego, our othering get in the way. He emphasizes that belonging includes having a meaningful voice. It means the ability to co-create the structures of one's society. Co-create. We co-create with God all the time. And God is in everyone around us. Are we co-creating with those around us? He speaks too of the assurance of a reciprocal concern from others. A reciprocal concern for others, rather than being defined by one's exclusion from a community. And I want to pause in that to say, we're doing it. Don't let the folks who aren't drag us down. Radiate the way that you are belonging and including. Radiate the reciprocal concern for others that we know through these teachings. So there's a wonderful conversation that you can see on YouTube between John Powell and Bell Hooks, another amazing philosopher and writer of so many books. I could spend the rest of my talk listening about what she does. But she talks about, she speaks on love, she speaks on freedom, she speaks on undoing the isms of this world, and so much more. And in their conversation, Professor Hooks speaks of the process of healing from assaults on our hearts. Anybody felt that lately? And so this belonging is a place for that healing, to heal from the constant assaults on our hearts. We know that as true students. That's why we are able to come again and again and again to the teachings that are the salve, that are the armor sometimes. And the community of these truth teachings is a place for healing. Community, beloved community, provides a container for that healing. This place in the round provides that. We are called by the truth teachings to be generative centers for healing the constant assaults on our hearts. Not just my heart. I'm a generative center for the healing of the hearts of others too, as are you. When Bell Hooks talks about love, she quotes M. Scott Peck's definition of love. And he talks about love as the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. Look out. We know that. But we're going to say it out loud. Love is about nurturing our spiritual growth. And it's exemplified by action, by active practice, not a feeling. That, dear ones, is community. An active practice of love to nurture one's own or another's spiritual growth. There is healing power in that. And that's where community comes in. So June is Pride Month, a time of celebration of the fullness of self for many people in the LGBTQI plus community, one of my communities. It is a time to dance in the sunshine, to hold hands in the park, to laugh, and perhaps have a time of worry that you won't be othered. The impact of othering. Being out and proud has not always been a safe thing. To be fully and publicly your complete divine self is not always there. I first came out in 1988. Yes, I've got some years on me. Back then it was the gay and lesbian community. And there were conversations about how radical it would be to have lesbian come first and let the women step ahead of the men to address privilege and power. Bisexual wasn't accepted at all. There was a conversation about whether they should be in the list. It was LG. And our trans brothers and sisters were invisibilized completely and often openly rejected by the gay community, by the lesbian community. The othering meant and means so many things in this context. There were people who were disowned by their families and friends for speaking the truth of who they loved. The word queer at the time was offensive. It was derogatory. It has been embraced and held on to. And some of us who are older are still trying to figure that out. For me, it means the political stance of who I love. For the younger folk in the community, it means something else, and I listen to them, but I don't always get it. And so I go way back to a time when these debates about all of these things had to do with the perceptions of privilege. People stayed hidden because they were afraid jobs could be lost. You might be killed. Truth, y'all. and still incredibly true for our trans brothers and sisters. Suicide rates still among LGBTQI plus people and youth are even higher. Separated, othered, afraid of belonging. And so Pride Month allows an out and proud moment. I want you to, we've got those things we have to know. But the purpose of this, as I see it, and I'm just one voice, has been freedom for a day, freedom for a month, freedom in one parade where people could walk, and it's usually a walk-in parade, and wave and sing out in the fullness of their divine creation. It's an opportunity for those feeling othered to see they are not alone. That is the power of community. The opportunity for those who are othering to see and feel love. Because it's about love. It's about us radiating out the love. And for the allies to stand tall and next and with us. I call this freedom living because it shows others the way to freedom and it lets us be in freedom. So in 1988, when I came out, it was a different world. Ronald Reagan was president. Sidney Bartholomew was mayor of New Orleans, and the Saints went 10-6 that year in the NFL. Now, y'all have had some time to see me. What I bring here in the pulpit, do we call it that here, is how I am in the world. I'm a strong, proud person. I'm extroverted. You might be surprised to hear that. In 1988, I was terrified, and I could not stand tall. Back then, the clubs and bars and places where we socialized had no windows, and there were conversations about, can I go, because what if somebody sees me there? And then you have that realization that if they see you, they're there too. So everybody's all right. If they had windows, they were painted over so nobody could see in. People hid their identity so as not to lose jobs, not to lose housing, to ensure that they would get medical care. Some community places still use the blinking light to warn that the police are coming so you can get out. And where we are in the U.S. is different than where we are in the world. And I was afraid. I have fear, but I was afraid to tell my family. And let me tell you about my family. They pop up from time to time. They loved me, they held me, they believed in me. Not once had anything ever been said at home that would say, you have to worry about it. And yet, I was afraid to tell my family what? That I was in love. A smart, funny woman who had transferred from Emory Law School to Tulane Law School had caught my eye. We'd become friends, and that friendship grew, and it grew into love and a partnership. Yet I was afraid because I knew that there were people who were banished from their families when they came out. The churches I had been in created some of the fear too. Would God love me? I know better. My oldest brother was engaged, and my other brother brought his girlfriend home for holidays, always family celebrations of love, and yet I couldn't step in. I lived here in New Orleans, just blocks away from my mom and stepmom, and I was terrified they would find out that I was a lesbian. My mom was living in Baton Rouge, which she disowned me. I stayed away from my family once this relationship started, so love here began to separate. I was othering myself. No more drop-ins for dinner. I missed my oldest brother's wedding. I made up an excuse that I had midterms in law school because I was afraid that if I showed up, they'd see on my face somehow. And again, see what? That they would see love? That they would see that I was in love? The fear came from what I was seeing in the world. So that's part of us to talk about, is what we in community are doing. I'm going to go way back for some of y'all. Anita Bryant's campaign against the LGBTQ community was intense. The messages I'd gotten again in faith practices made me feel shunned. And the mental impact on me was tremendous. Imagine, some of you may be able to imagine for all kinds of reasons being separated from family. We've watched the joy of family members joining here in the church together. Depression and sadness at the loss of family connection. I'm a daddy's girl, y'all. And I wasn't getting to sit with my dad. My brothers have always been my heroes. And we weren't talking much anymore. All because of fear. And again, not because of othering by my family, but othering I'd seen in the world, and I didn't want my family to pull away. And so the impact of the power of our community makes a difference. And the communities that were othering broke us, broke me, hid me. Imagine that, but it did. So our actions have consequences. How we walk in the world impacts people we do not even know. And that's why I'm always talking about radiate that love that you are, that God that is in us, because that too has consequences. The consequences of love building community with people we don't even know. So finally, I got the nerve to tell my brothers first. And when I did it, I just sort of blurted out and just ripped the Band-Aid off. And they, well, embraced me. They loved me even more because they knew me more. What a relief. I didn't tell my parents for a while, but they too embraced me and my girlfriend. Dad hadn't understood whether I was distant, and he was afraid he'd lost his little girl. And he hadn't. I was just hiding. So I am blessed to have a family that loves me. I'm blessed to have a family that embraces me. That is one community, and it allows me to show up fully. I'm going to mention Noli Way Alexander, one of my teachers, who says she shows up in her fullness all the time. So Pride Month is a small space that allows people living in fear to see others, to find community, to find an antidote to fear, a place to acknowledge the gifts of the LGBTQI plus members of our community. It disappears some of the hate and much of the othering that separates us. Othering that brings us to lower vibration and takes community from the divine God love that is in each of us. Othering separates and weakens us as human beings and as spiritual beings. And so the power of belonging that is taught in our teachings that John Powell so eloquently speaks of, the love that Bell Hooks lifts up, the oneness is a power the material world forces too often seek to take from each of us. Don't let them take it. Don't buy into the othering in any way, shape, or form. It weakens us from our spiritual self. And I know we see it almost daily, but that's when we're looking outward. If you're going to look outward, look into the eyes of the beloved beings here. The beloved beings that you know that are holding the power of love. So I will give you one more quick story about this. Later in the 2000s, I was living outside of New Orleans, and Pride Weekend was coming, and the parade was big, and they had a huge festival that was as big as City Park, with music and vendors and all the things we know. And my buddies called and said, "Are we going?" And I said, "Nope." Because my pride that weekend, y'all ready for this, was to do laundry, make groceries, and clean my house. Because that's part of what my beingness is in the community that I'm a part of. Without community, there is no liberation. Truth teachings, again, are about liberation and freedom. Freedom from that lower vibration. Freedom to swim in the divine consciousness. To allow our subconscious mind to operate with the juice and the power and the elixir of the divine mind. Here's a little secret. I think you know it already. The power of oneness, the power of community is always, always present. Just like God. Always right here. Always right here. Matthew 18:20. For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there am I with them. Being an intentional community always includes and amplifies the presence of God. Beloved community brings healing, masterminding, and amplification of divine purpose. Ecclesiastes 4:9-12. Now, this was one that was new to me, so thank you all for the opportunity to find more. 2 are better than 1, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. Woe for anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Again, if 2 sleep together, they will be warm. But how can one be warm alone? And if one is strong for him, 2 shall withstand him. And a threefold cord is not quickly broken. Old Testament talking about community. Jesus, our way shower, was a gatherer, a connector, a community builder. He did not walk the earth on his own. He said, I see you, we're together. I see you, we're together. Come on. We're going to do our generative center thing, and then we're going to go out and we're going to connect with other divine beings. He's the way shower, and we get to be in that way. The entire love potential of God is within you all the time. And so we have our oneness of self, and yet we have the community that is aware of the love potential within each and every person, that amplifies it. The gifts and powers of the divine within each of us amplifies each of us. Our beingness here, I leave. We all leave at a higher vibration, higher than we've ever been before. That's the power of community. Doesn't it feel good? Eric Butterworth says, you are always loved from within. What you need is to give it expression by loving. So the great need is not to be loved, but to love. The lonely, loveless person without community or thinks they don't have it, is one who's become an artist at blocking and frustrating the divine flow of love. The first thing to do is to get yourself grounded in the oneness with your own source, rightly connected with your inner flow. Once you've centered your love flow, then you become more friendly to the people and to the community. You become more open in your interest in them as a person. The more the communication of love flows, the law of consciousness amplifies, and that law is infallible. You'll begin to tend to be drawn toward and attract to you the very special ones who are connected with their divine love. But it begins with you. It begins within you, and it flows through you. The power of community is built through love within and shared outwardly. We are God's people. We are divine creations born in the mind of God. And several things arise when we're together. As I said, our vibration rises. Our love rises. It's like battery connections. The divine power amplifies. We are a power strip for countless people to plug into. 1 candle, 1 light bulb, 10 candles, 1,000 light bulbs. one paint stroke on a canvas. We all make the painting. One pixel in a photo. A oneness of love. We come here to this space to be in conscious connection with the vibration in this place. It's not the place, though. It's the people. And it's not just the people and the love energy that's here today. It's the love energy that has flowed through this space for decades. And so we lift that up. It is, in fact, too, the love vibration of those to come. Because the interconnectedness is with all in all directions. And so be conscious of your divine vibration. Know that community powers you. Know that community has got you. You can lay down your armor and heal. And know that in your strength you are a healer. In this community and in the community outside these walls. Don't isolate others. Don't other others. Don't isolate yourself. With a hat tip to the introverts. Extroverts need quiet time too. But there's a difference between quiet time and isolation. So see your community. Be in and of your community. We are called by God to be belongers, not others. I see you. I see you. You are a creation of God. See one another as creations of God. You belong. We love you. I love you. Happy Pride. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you for your meaningful and thought-provoking message about community, connection, and love. It's wonderful. Now is the time for our tithes and love offerings. We give in gratitude so that all may be blessed. Please repeat the abundance blessing with me 3 times. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. In the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, and in the name of the Holy Spirit, it is so now. We would like to extend a very warm welcome to any of you who might be new to Unity of New Orleans. Do we have any newcomers or visitors with us today that would like to introduce themselves? All right, there is a lot happening here at Unity, and I hope that you might find some of these things interesting. So first off, you can, if you'd like to contribute to this ministry, you can do so electronically, or you can do that in the lobby before you leave, or on the website. While you're online, You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook. Today's service will be available on YouTube tomorrow. Also, in case you don't know, Unity of New Orleans publishes a weekly electronic newsletter, and it's full of all the things going on here at Unity, classes, events, announcements, and a link to the weekly services. If you'd like to sign up for that, you can do that at the front desk as well. The Women of Unity Ministry will be meeting for 1 hour immediately after the service on Sunday, July 5th. This is a space for the women of our community to resonate, attune, and embrace our divine femininity. Child care will be provided. For more information, you can speak to Erica Vance or Donisha Dunn. Also, we have 2 community support groups at Unity of New Orleans. We have a grief support group that meets at 6 p.m. on the 3rd Thursday of each month. This is a safe, compassionate, and supportive environment for anyone that's grieving, experiencing difficulties, or feeling lost. The group meets upstairs in the main building. Also, we have Alcoholics Anonymous, which meets every Tuesday in the family room at 6 p.m. It's an open meeting, so if someone you know or yourself struggles with any substance issues, you're welcome. Also, our virtual Course in Miracles study group meets on Zoom every Thursday evening at 7. All are welcome. You can see the newsletter to attend that as well. And then, right after the service, we will have prayer chaplains available to pray with you right here in the sanctuary. They will meet with you in prayer about any of your needs in complete confidentiality. We are honored to pray with you, and prayer is powerful. Those of you who are not meeting with a prayer chaplain, kindly leave the sanctuary after the service to create space for the prayer. All right. And now please stand for the prayer for protection.